so strong
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. It's me, your girl Mars. If you don't know, now you know. So first, let me just say sorry I'm looking dusty. I just have been home all day since we're not allowed to go outside because it's negative 50 degrees. But yeah, I've been home all day and I was not gonna put on a full face of makeup just to film this video. So you guys, here I am at my dustiest. You're welcome. Also, sorry for this huge pimple on my face. If you can't see it, well, you must be blind because it's fucking huge. It's right here on my cheek. Sorry, just pointing it out, putting out my flaws for you guys. But yeah, like I said, I've been stuck inside all day because of this wonderful Illinois weather. Yeah, it's colder than Mount Everest, fun fact, and Antarctica. So I've been stuck inside. And I was browsing through Netflix and I came across a documentary called The Nightmare, which is about sleep paralysis. So I thought, hey, let me talk about my sleep paralysis experience. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about my sleep paralysis experiences. So before I even watched the documentary, I had only experienced sleep paralysis twice, and I didn't know what sleep paralysis was until I saw the documentary. So before that, I had experienced sleep paralysis twice, and it was like two random times, like years apart. But basically, just the basic stuff happened. I couldn't move. I woke up, couldn't move, couldn't talk, nothing. All of my sleep paralysis experiences come after I've had a nightmare. Usually, this is gonna sound weird. Usually it's like a demonic nightmare. So like there's demons in my dream, or someone's getting possessed, or something with a demon is happening. And then I wake up, or I come out of that dream into the sleep paralysis, if that makes sense. So before the first two times I had sleep paralysis, every time I try to wake up, or I try to not wake up, but like get out of it, I used to try doing that, even now sometimes, but by yelling. Not yelling, but like, I don't know how to explain it. In my head, I would try to yell, but it wouldn't come out. So in my head, it would sound like I'm muffling. So it was like, but I wasn't actually physically doing it. I was doing it in my head. I don't know how to explain it. But one time, I actually did manage to like let out some type of noise that my mom heard me, and she came in and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was so scared, man. That was the scariest time I've had it. That was the second time I had it. That's the last time I had it before I realized what I was having with sleep paralysis. So I've had it twice. Then I watched the documentary in 2000, and it came out in 2015. I think I watched it in 2016. It came out. I realized what was actually happening. I was like, oh, well, what I had those two other times was sleep paralysis. And then I watched the documentary, and that same night that I watched the documentary, I got sleep paralysis. That was my third time having sleep paralysis. And if you don't know what sleep paralysis is, let me just read quickly what it is for you, the scientific term for sleep paralysis, or whatever you want to say it. So it's a temporary inability to move or speak while falling asleep or upon waking up. The scientific explanation for what's happening during sleep paralysis is basically your brain is awake, but your body is not awake yet. So mentally you're awake, physically you are not awake. That's why you can't move your body. I personally think there's more of a paranormal side to that. It's not just your mind is awake, your body isn't. I could be wrong. That's what I think. Based off my experiences, you will see why I think that, but that is what I think. So like I said, I had sleep paralysis twice, watched the documentary, got it a third time, and then after that it was few and far in between that I would get sleep paralysis until I started watching this show. And this show, it's called The Exorcist, and it was on FX, and it came out in 2016, and that's when I started getting my sleep paralysis episodes constantly, like 4 to 5 times a week, constant while I was watching the show. Up to when I stopped watching the show, it was constant, like all the time. Like, before I get into that, different people have different experiences when it comes to sleep paralysis. My sleep paralysis would come after a nightmare. Sometimes I would see a shadow person, sometimes I would not. Sometimes it would just be like it's just like if I don't see the shadow person, it just feels like a bad vibe coming towards me, like a wave of a bad vibe or evil energy coming towards me. That's the best way I can describe it. But either way, you feel the evilness or evil presence there. You feel something there. You know you're not by yourself. That's just how I feel. Other people feel like they're being choked. Other people feel like there is like a heavy pressure on their chest. My parents, when they have sleep paralysis, they always feel like the pressure on their chest. And it's funny because like in Spanish or in Mexico, they call it like sleep paralysis. When they refer to sleep paralysis, they say se me subió el muerto. So that means like a dead person came on top of me. That's why they feel the pressure. So like every time that like I hear a Hispanic talk about sleep paralysis, they usually have experienced the heavy feeling on your chest, but I've never experienced that. But I don't think my mom has ever herself experienced seeing an evil presence, which is something I do sometimes. If you watch a documentary, you'll see that other people do. Some people's is way more intense than other people's, and oh my god, I am so thankful that what I've gone through with sleep paralysis is nothing compared to like what the people on that documentary have seen or gone through, because that shit is intense. Like, I don't think I would be able to handle sleep paralysis if I got it the way the people on the documentary got it. Back to how it's connected to the show, or not connected, but yeah, when I started watching the Exorcist show, it triggered it like no other. Like, I was getting it all the time, every week, multiple times a week. And it's funny because, like I said, I would have like weird exorcist nightmare demonic dreams, and then I started watching that show, and it was like crazy. I don't know, it's just like a weird coincidence that that's the kind of dreams I would have right before my sleep paralysis. And I stopped watching the show, and then I still get it, but I don't get it as often as I did when I was watching the show. And I think my mom always said, like, I was always into like paranormal things, like watching paranormal videos and those haunting shows and stuff like that, and like looking into and learning about like different demons, but not just like demons, like anything like Bible related. Like, I like learning about the Bible, but not like in a religious way, if that makes sense. But usually it was more like looking into ghosts and stuff like that. My mom always told me, like, if you keep looking into that stuff, or if you keep thinking about that stuff, like, you're gonna attract that stuff towards you. Like, you're gonna attract those negative vibes and that negative energy towards you. Like, she would say, like, you might not be haunted or experience anything paranormal, but if you keep looking into that, like, eventually, like, you're gonna attract it to you. And I think that is probably what happened. I don't know, just from watching that show and seeing all that like negative stuff and on the show probably just triggered my sleep paralysis. I think that's what it was, because I still get it, like I said, but nowhere near as much as I used to when I was watching the show, which is why I didn't watch the second season, because I was scared that if I did watch the show, like, it was gonna trigger it back up. And I'm not scared of sleep paralysis anymore, because I learned how to wake myself up when I do start to get it, which I'll tell you how towards the end. It doesn't faze me anymore. If it started happening, like, if it starts happening to me, like, on some crazy shit, like from the people at the documentary, it will fucking faze me. But for now, like, I'm good. I only get it, like, I rarely get it now. Like, so maybe I'll have it like twice a week, and then after that I won't have it for like 3 months. Or like maybe I'll have it like 1 week, and then I'll have it again the next week, but then after that I won't have it for another month. It's just weird, like, it's random. But while I was watching the show, the sleep paralysis got physical. Every time I would get it, it wasn't always a shadow person, but I'm just gonna say the bad energy. The bad energy or negative energy would come closer to me every time I got the sleep paralysis, until eventually like it was right there next to me. And I would always get it on my back, or when I would sleep on my back. And the last time I went through a full episode of sleep paralysis, because after that I learned how to get out of it, but the last time was when this energy actually touched me. And the best way I could describe this is, so this time I wasn't sleeping on my back. This time I was sleeping on my side, which was scary because that had never happened to me. It was always while I was sleeping on my back. So I was sleeping on my side, and my side was basically like my face was facing the wall, so nothing could come in front of me. Things could only come behind me. So basically my face was facing the wall, my back was facing the free entry spaceway. So I started to get sleep paralysis while I was on my back, or while I was on my side, and the bad energy was moved towards me, was right next to me, and I couldn't, like I said, my face was facing the wall, so I couldn't see what was happening physically with my eyes, but I could see what was happening in my head. That sounds so weird, and like, you might not believe me, but that's literally what happened to me. It's like I had eyes on the back of my head, and what I was seeing it in my brain. I don't know, but basically this thing started, like, the bad energy, like, I felt it coming towards me, I saw it coming towards me, and then it went through my back, and it went through me until it touched my heart, or what I think is my heart. And then once it did that, once it actually touched me or whatever, I woke up. And I woke up and I felt tingling. I felt this tingling feeling on my back through where I swear it had touched me. And the best way I could describe that tingling feeling is like, okay, put your finger in front of your nose, right? Like right here. And you know how you can, like, even though you're not touching your nose, you can still feel, like, you feel the energy of your finger, like you feel it tingling right above your nose. I hate that feeling. But you feel it, like, you know something is there. Like if you close your eyes and like someone puts their hand right in front of your face, like they're not touching you with their hand, but if you have your eyes closed, you know something is in front of you because you feel it tingling. That's like the type of tingling sensation I had, but on my back, but it was like 10 times stronger. So I had that tingling feeling when I like snapped out of the sleep paralysis. After that, like, I googled like, how do you get out of sleep paralysis, because I was shook. Like I was like, what the fuck just touched me? Like, was that a ghost? I was confused. I was like, what's going on? Like, I didn't know. I googled it and I found somewhere that if you start by trying to wiggle your toes, it helps the rest of your body, I guess, wake up. So if you start wiggling your toes, and then like eventually like you'll be able to move your legs, and then you'll be able to like move your hips, and then move the rest of your body. So every time I feel like I'm starting to fall into sleep paralysis, I wiggle my toes, and then it just helps wake up the rest of my body, and I snap out of it. But usually if I snap out of it, I can't go right back to sleep, because if I fall back to sleep, I will go back into the sleep paralysis. So once I snap out of it, I try to like just lay there. If I can, I'll look at my phone to like help me wake up, and then I'll lay there for like maybe 5 minutes until like I'm like awake, aware, and then I'll fall back to sleep, because I have noticed that if I do fall back right asleep after I just woke up after I just snapped out of the sleep paralysis, I will fall into it again. So hey, if you're having sleep paralysis, that's my tip. Just try. Like, I feel like I've had it so many times, so I've experienced enough that I know the signals to when I'm going to get it. And it's funny because now that I think about it, recently I don't have the nightmares anymore. Sometimes I do have the nightmares, and the sleep paralysis will follow the nightmares, but sometimes now I will get it once I am falling asleep. So I guess that's the scientific explanation for it, because I will have it when I'm starting to fall asleep. So, but usually I know when it's about to happen, so I'll start, like, once I realize it's happening, I'll start wiggling my toes so I'm not too deep into it. And that's helped me so far. Like, I haven't gone through a full episode of it since I figured out that trick. So if you ever have sleep paralysis, just try wiggling your toes. I hope you like my lame sleep paralysis experience. Like, if you've ever had sleep paralysis, I know a lot of people who haven't. I know more people who haven't had it than people who've had, but maybe they don't know, because at first I didn't know that's what I was experiencing until I saw the documentary. But thank you for watching my video. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Watch The Exorcist. It's a good show. There's 2 seasons. I haven't watched the second one because, like I said, I don't want it to trigger my my crazy evil sleep paralysis thing. Watch The Exorcist. Watch the documentary of the nightmare if you haven't. It's really interesting. And like and comment, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye.